Hey guys, audio is gonna suck on this. I know, I don't have a microphone. But, anyways, topics today I'm gonna talk about is objectively optimal algs in cubing. And objectively optimal is basically just kind of like a meme as Sean started in like 2017. But obviously, it's been gaining more traction recently. But it's basically just using obscure algs or finger tricks in an effort to get an alg faster. Or case faster, I guess I should say. Obviously, I don't like this. I think there's a point in which you are over-optimizing stuff to which that it's going to be actively degrading to your solves. So, a lot of this is based on the idea that like there is no best alg for each case. What matters is context. If, take for example soon, obviously everyone uses soon, but you're not going to be using it every time based on its context. So obviously if you have it like this, you're going to be doing soon. But like, take for example, if you have this case, here it would make a lot more sense to be back soon, right? Or back anti-soon, I should say. So what's important, as opposed to using objectively optimal algs and focusing on how fast an alg is consistency and how comfortable you are with it. So, like, let's take for example RUS U perm. This kind of style, here I'll set it up. I'm doing U perm, so like this. I'm sure most of you guys are already familiar with this. Has been gaining a lot more popularity recently, probably like a year ago now. And people justify it by saying that, oh, it's like 0.1 faster, like, oh, I can do it in like 0.3 or 0.4 frame counted, so I should use it in solves, right? But you don't want to, and I think it's really stupid because obviously doing this in solves is always, without a doubt, going to be more inconsistent than doing MU or RU. Like, U perm, quite literally, is probably the most consistent PLA, but taking the trade-off of doing it 0.1 faster, maybe 1 in like 100 solves, for instead of just being consistent at it, is not worth it at all. And please don't say, oh, you just need to practice it to be consistent. You're missing the point. Doing weird algs or weird finger tricks, I guess I should say, is always going to be more inconsistent, or maybe slower, I guess more inconsistent than just normal finger tricks. Like, take for example, like using S moves and Olas or something like that. Obviously, most of your Olas are going to be like RUF gen. So when you have one with like some like S, or I guess R wide moves, also kind of similar category, you're not going to be able to be as consistent as them in solves, because most of the time you're going to be practicing RUF stuff in solves, not weirder finger tricks. And basically, I think it's very important to find algs that are personalized for you, that you are very comfortable with. But there's a point in which it just goes too far, and you always have to consider, when weighing your options on what algs you're going to use, what is it going to be like in solves. Obviously, maybe if I time it out now, like I can get 0.5 or 0.4 or whatever on stack mat, but in solves, am I going to be able to consistently reproduce that? Maybe not, and that can often be the deciding factor on what algs you may use. Another example of this is in blind. This is where a lot more of my experience comes from. So obviously this is where objectively optimal comes from, but oftentimes you'll see people saying, oh, I can do this alg regripless and consistently in home grip in like 0.6 or 0.7, aka Gianfranco. But in solves, you can see them whenever they get some weird alg or finger trick, they're going to lock up on it or just pause, or the whole fluidity of the solve is ruined, because obviously if you're going to be having a com go from like RUD gem to like LURB or RULD, that's gonna take slightly more time to readjust, and that time adds up over the period of the solve. So it's very important just to keep your algs kind of similar in style, so that your fluidity and time transitioning between algs isn't ruined. So what I'm trying to say is focus on your fundamentals. Small stuff like optimizing some PLO or OLL to be 0.1 faster 1 in 100 tries really isn't as important as just focusing in on look ahead or whatever. This stuff isn't going to make you faster, it's going to be solves that are going to make you faster. So I'd like to end by saying, let's take Max Park. Has arguably consistently the best last layer with old algs, no complex finger tricks, but he's very comfortable with them. And that, I think, is the deciding factor for algs above anything else. It's not speed or whatnot, it's being able to be comfortable with them. And find what works for you, and stay safe.